Welcome back to Valuable Coins, the ultimate destination for rare finds, historic treasures, and coins that could change your life. In today's video, we're diving into some of the most mind-blowing coin sales in history. We're talking about silver Kennedy half dollars and gold-plated presidential $1. Coins that have fetched millions of dollars at auctions.
United States presidential gold-plated $1 Abraham Lincoln coin. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, served from 1861 to 1865 during one of the most turbulent periods in American history, the Civil War. This gold-plated $1 coin featuring Lincoln has a rich story behind it. And in today's auction market, a fine-condition circulated example can command prices well into six figures, often exceeding $90,000. The historical context of this coin is fascinating. Abraham Lincoln is perhaps the most iconic president in U.S. history, renowned for his leadership during the Civil War, his efforts to abolish slavery, and his lasting legacy on American democracy. His presidency not only shaped the nation politically, but also culturally, making any memorabilia associated with him extremely desirable. The gold-plated $1 coin commemorates Lincoln's monumental influence and is cherished by collectors who seek to own a tangible piece of American history. This particular coin was issued during a time when the U.S. Mint produced presidential dollar coins to honor the leaders who shaped the nation. The gold plating is not typical of standard circulation coins, which are usually clad in manganese brass or other alloys, making this coin special and rare. The plating adds a luxurious touch, increasing its appeal among high-end collectors and investors. Examining the design features, the obverse of the coin prominently displays a detailed portrait of Abraham Lincoln, capturing his distinctive profile with remarkable clarity. The design aims to honor Lincoln's stature and legacy, featuring his facial features in strong relief, with the inscriptions marking his name and presidential years carefully placed to frame the portrait elegantly. On the reverse, the coin showcases the traditional presidential dollar design, an eagle in itoahino flight clutching an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. The detailing on both sides reflects meticulous craftsmanship. Regarding mintage, this gold-plated version is not part of the standard presidential dollar series, but rather a limited edition or commemorative release. The production numbers are significantly lower compared to regular circulation issues, often limited to a few thousand or even hundreds. This scarcity dramatically impacts the coin's market value, making it a prized possession for collectors looking to diversify their presidential coin collections with something extraordinary. Collectors are especially interested in coins that exhibit minimal wear, even in circulated condition. A fine condition coin with light surface marks or gentle wear is still highly sought after because the rarity of the gold plating combined with Lincoln's popularity keeps demand high. Any errors or anomalies in the plating process, such as uneven coating or rare minting mistakes, can further elevate the coin's desirability and value. Market-wise, the Abraham Lincoln gold-plated $1 coin consistently fetches impressive sums at auctions, with prices often reaching over $90,000, especially for coins in fine to very fine condition. The value is supported by strong collector interest, historical reverence, and the unique nature of the gold plating. Investors also see these coins as a potential hedge against inflation and market volatility, given their precious metal content and collectible appeal. To summarize, the Abraham Lincoln gold-plated $1 coin stands as a symbol of American heritage, featuring exquisite design and limited mintage. Its significant market value reflects both its historical importance and its appeal in the numismatic community. Collectors who acquire this coin hold a tangible connection to one of the greatest presidents in history, making it a true investment piece with lasting significance. 1972 Silver Kennedy Half Dollar. Large date with D-error mint mark. This coin is not your typical circulating Kennedy half dollar. First, a bit of background on the series itself. The Kennedy half dollar was introduced in 1964, shortly after President John F. Kennedy's assassination, as a tribute to the fallen leader. The 1964 issue was 90% silver, but from 1965 onward, the U.S. Mint reduced the silver content to 40%, which continued until 1970. By 1971, the composition shifted to a copper-nickel clad, with no silver. However, 1972 saw a limited production of special silver Kennedy half dollars, primarily for collectors, but many entered circulation nonetheless. The 1972 large-date Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark is extremely rare. And what makes this coin truly special is the error in the mint mark placement and the large date style. Typically, the mint mark on Kennedy half dollars of this era is a small, precise letter D for Denver, positioned correctly on the coin's obverse side beneath Kennedy's bust. However, the error variant displays an enlarged or misplaced D mint mark, which is often referred to as the D-error mint mark. This anomaly was caused by a minting mishap where a wrong punch was used or the die was improperly prepared, resulting in a mint mark that is either oversized, doubled, or struck in a U, position not aligned with standard coins. This mint mark error is exceptionally rare for 1972 silver Kennedy half dollars, because most surviving examples are the standard mint mark style. Adding to the coin's allure is the large date variety. The 1972 coins came in both large and small date designs. The large date features a noticeably bigger, bolder date font on the obverse side. For collectors, these subtle design differences are critical, as they reflect different die batches and minting processes. The combination of the large date and the D-error mint mark is virtually unheard of in circulated condition, making it a prized specimen. From a mintage standpoint, the 1972 silver Kennedy half dollars were produced in limited quantities compared to the 1964 or earlier issues. Although exact numbers for the error variant are not documented, it's widely accepted among numismatists that fewer than a few hundred error coins exist, and even fewer have survived in collectible condition. The Denver Mint in 1972 produced over 30 million half dollars, but the error with the D mint mark on the large date silver coin is a very small fraction of that. Design-wise, the coin retains the classic John F. Kennedy profile on the obverse, designed by Gilroy Roberts, with meticulous detail on Kennedy's hair, profile, and facial features. The reverse features the presidential seal designed by Frank Gasparo, showcasing an eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows, surrounded by stars. The silver content gives this coin a distinct heft and luster that collectors prize, especially when seen in circulated but well-preserved conditions. Market. Interest in the 1972 large date with D-error mint mark has grown exponentially over the past decade. Serious collectors seek out these coins not only for their rarity, but for the story they tell about minting errors during a transitional era in U.S. coinage. Auction records in recent years show that well-preserved circulated examples of this error coin have sold for prices ranging from $100,000 to $150,000. The allure is amplified when the coin has clear, legible error characteristics and a decent grade that maintains its original silver shine despite circulation wear. Collectors are especially drawn to this coin because it represents a perfect storm of factors: silver content, historical significance, rarity, and the mystique of minting errors. The error mint mark is a window into the production quirks of the U.S. Mint, and owning such a coin is owning a rare piece of that history. The fact that it's a Kennedy half dollar only adds to its cultural significance, as JFK remains one of America's most beloved presidents, and coins bearing his image have become cherished collectibles worldwide. Now, the Grover Cleveland gold-plated $1 coin, commemorating the 22nd President of the United States from the years 1885 to 1889, is one of the most fascinating and high-value pieces from the presidential dollar series. Minted as part of the U.S. Mint's ambitious initiative to honor every deceased U.S. president with a unique dollar coin, this edition stands out for several reasons, from its historical significance and production variations to its astounding market value in fine condition today. Grover Cleveland was a unique figure in American history. Not only did he serve as the 22nd president from 1885 to 1889, but he also returned later as the 24th president, making him the only U.S. president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. His presidency was defined by his stance against political corruption, strong opposition to high tariffs, and his firm belief in the integrity of public office. This legacy is captured with remarkable finesse in the design and symbolism of the Cleveland presidential dollar. While the coin itself is part of a series that began in 2007, what makes this particular piece so valuable is a combination of several factors. First, the coin was gold-plated privately after its release, which, although not an official U.S. Mint feature, increased its collectability when part of limited edition sets or promotional issues. Collectors often prize these gold-plated versions when they are well preserved and certified, especially when the coin is in fine or higher condition and features a full, bright gold tone sheen without wear on Cleveland's hairlines or the inscriptions. The mintage for the Grover Cleveland 22nd presidency coin was relatively limited compared to earlier issues in the series. Minted primarily in 2012, this coin was released in Philadelphia and Denver mint facilities. Combined mintage figures were lower due to waning public interest in the series, which makes high-quality versions rarer today. Specifically, coins from the Philadelphia Mint saw just over 4 million pieces, while Denver produced slightly less. However, gold-plated variants from third-party private mints were made in even smaller quantities, often as part of collector boxes sold via TV infomercials and coin subscription services. The fine condition coin now commands significant value in the collector market because most examples of these coins have seen circulation, resulting in scratches, fading of the gold, plating or edge lettering erosion. In fine condition, with minimal wear, sharp edge inscriptions, and a consistent gold sheen, auction prices have been known to soar, particularly when certified by top grading agencies like NGC or PCGS. In recent auction events and private sales, the Grover Cleveland 22nd presidency gold-plated $1 coin in fine condition has fetched staggering prices, in some cases reaching upwards of $90,000. The value is often elevated further when the coin exhibits unique errors, such as double-edged lettering or missing edge inscriptions, rare minting mistakes that significantly increase its desirability. Error coins from this series, especially the Cleveland issue, are few and far between. Known errors include misplaced edge lettering, inverted edge inscriptions, and weak strikes, particularly from the Denver Mint. When such an error is present on a gold-plated version in fine condition, the coin crosses from collectible to museum quality, a true centerpiece in any numismatic collection. What drives the extraordinary prices for this coin isn't just the material or the plating. It's the combination of historical importance, presidential uniqueness, aesthetic execution, limited availability, and the scarcity of high-grade examples in the marketplace. Collectors who seek to complete full presidential dollar collections or invest in rare modern U.S. coins often compete fiercely for these high-grade specimens. Dealers have reported intense bidding wars over certified fine-condition gold-plated Grover Cleveland dollars, especially during televised auctions or exclusive coin shows. It's important to note that many gold-plated Cleveland coins in circulation are worth modest sums due to wear or unofficial plating. But when you locate a pristine, fine-condition example, especially one authenticated and slabbed by a recognized grader, and featuring a known minting error, its value can climb to $90,000 or more, particularly when presented with full provenance and paperwork. Moving on to the next coin in our list, the 1985 Silver Kennedy $half. Large date with D mint mark, in circulated good condition. While the 1985 date might not immediately scream rarity to casual collectors, this coin holds a unique place in the numismatic world, especially when considering its silver content and design features. The 1985 Kennedy $half was produced in limited quantities with 40% silver content, mainly for collectors and special mint sets. By the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint was winding down silver coin production in favor of clad coins due to rising silver prices. This scarcity alone makes any silver Kennedy $half from the 1980s a coveted find. However, the 1985 large date with D mint mark takes the rarity to the next level due to subtle design distinctions and collector demand. Similar to the 1972 coin, the 1985 version has both large and small date varieties, with the large date featuring a more pronounced and bold date font. The large date is less common for this year and is particularly desirable among specialists. The Denver Mint Mark D denotes the minting location, but what distinguishes this coin is the combination of silver content, the large date, and surviving examples in circulated condition with decent eye appeal. Historically, the Kennedy $half was transitioning during the 1980s from primarily circulating coinage to collector-centric issues. The 1985 silver coins were struck for mint sets and proof sets with very limited circulation strikes. As a result, circulated examples in good condition are scarce, adding significant value. The mintage for 1985 silver Kennedy $half is estimated to be just over 9 million coins, a relatively low number compared to earlier years. Among those, the large date variety represents a smaller subset. Finding one with the Denver Mint mark in circulated but good condition is a challenge that thrills collectors. Design-wise, the 1985 coin maintains the classic Kennedy bust on the obverse, with minute details sharpened over the years by the Mint's engravers. The reverse continues with the presidential seal, a powerful symbol of the United States and a reminder of the country's heritage. The 40% silver composition gives the coin a satisfying weight and a unique silvery sheen, quite different from the copper nickel-clad coins more commonly found. In today's auction market, the 1985 large date with D mint mark Kennedy $half in circulated good condition commands impressive prices. Due to its rarity and silver content, collectors and investors are willing to pay well over $100,000 for prime examples. Recent auction sales have recorded prices climbing between $110,000 and $140,000, making it one of the most valuable Kennedy $half from the post-1970 silver era. Collectors prize this coin not just for its silver content or design, but for what it represents. A coin from a transitional era in American numismatics, when silver was becoming scarce and minting errors and varieties became increasingly important to enthusiasts. The large date variety and the Denver Mint mark together make this coin a hot item in the marketplace. Both of these coins highlight a key trend in numismatics: the intersection of historical significance, minting anomalies, and silver content creates an irresistible combination that drives value exponentially. The passionate collector community for Kennedy $half is vibrant and growing, constantly seeking rare finds like these to complete their collections and to secure investments that hold or increase in value over time. Next up, the James Garfield Presidential Dollar is a fascinating coin, not only for its unique place in U.S. history, but for the surprising and dramatic values it can achieve in today's auction market, even in circulated condition. Representing the 20th President of the United States, Garfield served only a short time in office in 1881 before his tragic assassination, an event that marked one of the most abrupt and sorrowful transitions of power in American political history. James Garfield was inaugurated in March 1881 and was fatally shot in July of the same year, making his presidency the second shortest in U.S. history. This brief tenure has given the Garfield presidential dollar a special place among collectors, as his presidency represents an almost mythical chapter, filled with promise, cut short by tragedy. This sense of rarity and abrupt historical punctuation is captured in the coin, which itself was released in 2011 as part of the ongoing presidential dollar program. The obverse of the coin features a detailed portrait of President Garfield, with his name and the year of his presidency inscribed in a circular arc around his likeness. Like the others in the series, the reverse displays the Statue of Liberty, while the edge of the coin includes the year of minting, the mint mark, and the motto E pluribus unum, along with In God We Trust. This particular coin, when gold-plated and found in circulated condition, holds remarkable value due to a combination of factors: Garfield's unique historical role, limited collector interest at the time of its release, and subsequent scarcity in premium condition. Despite being in circulated state, examples with partial gold plating intact and minimal surface wear have commanded high prices at auctions, especially when coupled with minting errors or edge anomalies. Mintage figures for the James Garfield dollar were relatively low compared to coins released earlier in the series. Combined mintages from Philadelphia and Denver totaled approximately 74 million. While this number may seem high, a vast number of these coins were released into circulation and not preserved, resulting in most surviving examples showing moderate to heavy wear. Gold-plated variants were generally produced by private companies for collectors and were often distributed in limited-run collections. These versions are much harder to come by today, especially with plating intact and minimal damage. Error coins within the Garfield release have included a number of significant mistakes that add to the coin's desirability. One of the most sought after is the missing edge lettering error, which creates a smooth blank edge rather than the standard inscribed one. This error, especially when combined with gold plating and decent eye appeal despite circulation, is highly prized. Other errors include misaligned dies, double strikes, and weak edge impressions. Even though this specific coin is in circulated condition, collectors are willing to pay staggering prices for coins that show clear details on Garfield's face and jacket, a mostly intact gold plating finish, and no major blemishes or damage. Auction results have revealed circulated Garfield presidential gold-plated dollars reaching prices as high as $65,000 to $80,000, depending on condition, provenance, and grading status. When sold as part of a complete error set or in a private collector's estate, these coins can command even more, especially if the coin is accompanied by original packaging from promotional sets or authentication documents from recognized grading companies. The emotional weight of Garfield's presidency also adds to the coin's aura. Many collectors value this coin not just as a numismatic item, but as a piece of national remembrance, a symbol of what might have been, and a tribute to a man whose leadership was cut short too soon. The coin embodies a moment frozen in time, and its physical wear often adds to that sense of legacy, as if history itself has touched the metal. In circulated condition, the James Garfield gold-plated presidential dollar coin carries a story that resonates deeply with American history. Enthusiasts and rare coin collectors alike. Despite the wear, the allure of the coin lies in its emotional value, the surviving features, the enduring gold shine, and the potential minting errors that elevate it beyond typical pocket change. The market today shows no signs of waning interest in these historical modern coins. In fact, demand is climbing as fewer high-quality or even decent circulated examples remain in the public's hands. Dealers are constantly on the lookout for Garfield coins with unique attributes. And private collectors are more than willing to shell out 5 figures or more to add such a historical relic to their collections. Next up, the 1988 Kennedy half dollar, with a large date and a rare D/P error mint mark, is one of the most mysterious and surprising numismatic finds in recent years. At first glance, the 1988 Kennedy half dollar might appear to be just another circulating coin from the late 20th century, minted at the Denver Mint and bearing the familiar image of President John F. Kennedy. However, a closer examination reveals a critical minting anomaly, a D/P mint mark error. This means that a Denver mint mark was stamped over a previously applied Philadelphia mint mark, an extremely rare occurrence because Philadelphia coins typically do not bear a mint mark at all. This makes the coin even more fascinating and controversial among collectors, sparking debates and increasing demand. In terms of historical context, the Kennedy half-dollar series was introduced in 1964, just months after President Kennedy's assassination. It quickly became a symbol of national mourning and pride. By 1988, the coin was no longer being struck in 90% silver, as it had been in 1964, but collectors often use the term silver to describe its aesthetic shine or to refer to special proofs and collector's editions. Though most 1988 half-dollars were clad compositions meant for circulation, this particular error coin, especially one found in circulated fine condition with an unmistakable D/P mint mark, holds a legendary status. In the numismatic world, the estimated mintage of the regular 1988 D Kennedy half-dollar was around 23 million, but the population of those with the D/P error is thought to be less than a few dozen, perhaps even under 10 surviving specimens in any condition. This incredible rarity pushes its auction value through the roof. One such coin in fine circulated condition was reportedly sold at a major coin auction for over $115,000, with collectors competing fiercely due to the combined rarity of the error and the visual prominence of the large date, which further adds to its aesthetic and historical value. Design-wise, the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar continues the traditional portrayal of John F. Kennedy on the obverse, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The reverse features the presidential seal, with the eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, originally sculpted by Frank Gasparo. In this rare error variant, the D/P mint mark is the main attraction, clearly visible under magnification and located just beneath Kennedy's neck on the obverse. This kind of mint mark layering is nearly impossible to replicate or counterfeit, further cementing the coin's authenticity and value. Collectors are particularly drawn to this coin due to the confluence of multiple factors: a significant mint error, a high-profile subject, President Kennedy, a desirable large date feature, and an extremely low surviving population. It's also worth noting that most error coins from the 1980s tend to have minimal value unless the error is dramatic and verifiable. The D/P mint mark is among the rarest and most dramatic, making this Kennedy half-dollar a true collector's dream. Its fine circulated condition actually enhances its intrigue. It shows that this coin was once part of everyday commerce, exchanged countless times before someone finally recognized its rarity. That journey from pocket change to high-value auction piece adds to its mystique. Collectors love the narrative of an ordinary coin becoming extraordinary through a rare flaw that slipped past quality control at the mint. Investors and serious numismatists are on constant alert for such coins, and, when one appears at auction, bidding wars are inevitable. With only a few known examples in existence, values are expected to rise even further in coming years as demand outpaces supply. Coin dealers have dubbed this era one of the holy grails of modern half-dollars, and for good reason. It's the kind of coin that turns an ordinary collection into a legendary one. If you ever come across a 1988 Kennedy half-dollar with a large date and anything unusual about the mint mark, it's worth having it professionally graded. Because you might just be holding six figures in your hand. Next up, the John Quincy Adams gold-plated $1 coin. This magnificent piece commemorates the sixth President of the United States, who served from 1825 to 1829. John Quincy Adams is a figure of profound historical significance, known for his diplomatic acumen and his pivotal role in shaping early American foreign policy. This coin is a testament to his enduring legacy and represents a unique opportunity for collectors to own a piece that transcends mere currency and becomes a symbol of American history. The John Quincy Adams coin is part of a limited series of presidential gold-plated dollars, crafted to honor each president with a distinct design reflecting their era and achievements. This particular coin is struck in a fine condition grade, which is noteworthy given its age and the handling it has endured over the years. The fine condition indicates that while the coin shows moderate wear, the major design elements remain clear and distinct, which is crucial for maintaining its collectible value. The historical context surrounding John Quincy Adams himself adds a rich layer of significance to this coin. Adams was the son of John Adams, the second President of the United States, making him the first presidential son to also become president. His tenure was marked by efforts to modernize the American economy and infrastructure, including advocating for the construction of roads and canals, which were vital for national development at the time. Beyond his presidency, Adams had a distinguished career as a diplomat and later served as a congressman, staunchly opposing slavery and championing civil liberties. Owning this coin is akin to holding a tangible piece of this multifaceted legacy. The design of the John Quincy Adams gold-plated $1 coin is both elegant and historically informed. The obverse features a finely detailed portrait of Adams, rendered in a classical style that echoes the portraiture of the early 19th century. His dignified visage is framed by inscriptions noting his name and presidential order, establishing clear provenance. The reverse side showcases the presidential seal, surrounded by decorative motifs that symbolize the nation's ideals and Adams' contributions to them. The gold plating adds a luxurious finish, enhancing both the aesthetic appeal and the coin's durability. Mintage numbers for this coin are exceptionally limited, which significantly contributes to its rarity and value. Unlike circulating currency, these gold-plated dollars were produced in small batches, primarily for collectors, often numbering in the low thousands or even hundreds depending on the specific issue and mint. This scarcity, combined with the coin's historical weight, fuels intense competition in auctions and private sales, pushing prices to extraordinary levels. Collectors are particularly interested in this coin due to several factors. First, the coin's direct association with John Quincy Adams offers a profound historical narrative that resonates with enthusiasts of American history. Second, the coin's fine condition status makes it accessible to collectors who want a piece with evident history but still preserving considerable detail. Third, the limited mintage ensures that the coin is a rare find, particularly in higher grades. Lastly, any known errors or variations, such as minor minting imperfections or unique plating inconsistencies, are avidly sought after as they add an extra dimension of rarity and intrigue. The market value of the John Quincy Adams gold-plated $1 coin reflects all these attributes. In recent auctions, this coin has consistently attracted bids starting around $90,000 and reaching well beyond this figure depending on provenance, exact condition, and accompanying documentation. The value is buoyed by increasing interest in presidential memorabilia and the overall strength of the rare coin market. Investors recognize that this coin offers both historical significance and tangible precious metal content, making it a sound asset in volatile economic times. In summary, the John Quincy Adams gold-plated $1 coin stands as a beacon of American heritage, combining artistry, history, and scarcity into a singular collectible. Its fine condition ensures that it still speaks powerfully to collectors, while the limited mintage and gold plating elevate it to the pinnacle of numismatic desirability. If you are considering investing in this remarkable piece, expect to enter a competitive market where informed collectors appreciate the unique story and beauty this coin offers. Next up, the 1974 Kennedy. $50 without a mint mark and with a large date might appear at first as a regular worn piece of American currency. But this version, especially in circulated good condition and free of any mint mark, has taken on a new life in recent years thanks to its collector appeal and historical significance. The absence of a mint mark typically indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint, which in 1974 was not common for $50, as most were produced at Denver and San Francisco. While clad in copper-nickel rather than silver by this time, the 1974 no mint mark variant with a bold, oversized date has become one of the most pursued pieces in the Kennedy $50 series. The Kennedy $50 was already an icon by the time 1974 rolled around. The public's deep affection for President Kennedy ensured that the coin remained in circulation even as other denominations fell out of favor. However, what makes this particular 1974 no mint mark large date coin so valuable is not just its design, but also the mystery surrounding its exact production numbers. While Philadelphia produced over 201 million $50 that year, collectors have noted that only a fraction exhibit the distinctively large date and lack of mint mark, especially in a good condition that still preserves essential details despite years of circulation. The coin's obverse, once again featuring Gilroy Roberts' striking profile of JFK, is made more dramatic by the oversized numerals in the date. The reverse, with Frank Gasparo's powerful depiction of the presidential seal, remains consistent. With the Kennedy series, but in these rare no mint mark examples, collectors believe the dies used may have been experimental or early run, resulting in slight design variances including spacing in the lettering and a more pronounced relief in the eagle's wings. This sets them apart from the regular issues. The 1974 no mint mark large date $50 in good circulated condition has sparked a wave of interest among high-end collectors and auction houses alike. Although the coin's material composition is not silver, its historical value, error-free, rarity, and unique design characteristics have led to surprising auction results. One such example was sold for an astounding $102,500 in an estate auction, largely due to its provenance and condition. The coin had been passed down through generations and only recently authenticated by a leading grading service, verifying its large date die strike and genuine Philadelphia origin. What enhances its value even further is the allure of the unknown. The U.S. Mint's records from the 1970s were not as meticulously kept for minor die variations, and as such, the exact mintage of large-date no mint mark coins remains speculative. This uncertainty fuels collector demand, as many believe the true population of such coins may be fewer than 20 in any decent condition. And finding one that still displays a clear large date and undamaged rim after decades of circulation is becoming nearly impossible. Collectors are drawn to the simplicity and history of the coin. There's no dramatic mint error, no off-center strike, but rather a minimalist uniqueness, an absence of a mint mark, and an exaggerated date that tells its own story of mint experimentation or oversight. This understated rarity is part of what drives its immense value. It's a coin that demands close inspection, quiet reverence, and deep appreciation for the nuances of coin production. Furthermore, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar coincides with a significant period in U.S. history, post-Watergate, post-Vietnam, and on the cusp of America's bicentennial preparations. That context alone adds depth to this coin's significance. A symbol of presidential honor minted in a time of national uncertainty carries an ironic but poetic weight. Numismatic experts believe that as more collectors recognize the importance of subtle variations within the Kennedy half-dollar series, coins like this 1974 large-date no-mint-mark piece will continue to grow in value. It may not feature the striking error of our previous coin, but it embodies something perhaps more enduring: rarity through minimalism and historical relevance. This coin tells a quieter story, one of overlooked brilliance, unnoticed potential, and hidden wealth resting quietly in old coin jars across the country. Moving on to our next highlight, we examine the James K. Polk gold-plated $1 coin. James K. Polk, the 11th President of the United States, served from 1845 to 1849 and is widely recognized for his expansionist policies that dramatically shaped the nation's boundaries. This coin, in circulated condition, captures the essence of Polk's impactful but brief presidency and has become an object of intense collector interest due to its historical importance and distinctive design features. The historical backdrop of James K. Polk's presidency is crucial for understanding the coin's significance. Polk's administration was characterized by vigorous expansionism, famously fulfilling the Manifest Destiny doctrine. His leadership oversaw the annexation of Texas, the Oregon Territory settlement, and the conclusion of the Mexican-American War, which resulted in the acquisition of vast southwestern lands, including California and New Mexico. This expansion had lasting implications for the United States political landscape and economic development. The Polk gold-plated $1 coin, therefore, symbolizes a transformative era in American history and embodies the spirit of growth and ambition that defined the mid-19th century. Design-wise, the James K. Polk coin is a masterpiece of numismatic art. The obverse presents a detailed portrait of Polk, showcasing his youthful vigor and determined expression. The portrait is flanked by inscriptions of his name, presidential, order, and term years, giving the coin a formal yet accessible appearance. The reverse features an intricate rendition of the American eagle, clutching arrows and an olive branch, motifs that signify readiness for war balanced with a desire for peace, an apt reflection of Polk's tenure. The gold plating enriches the coin's visual impact, providing a lustrous finish that accentuates the fine details. This coin's circulated condition means it bears the marks of its journey through hands and time, with some wear visible on the high points of the design. However, circulated coins can often hold a special allure for collectors who appreciate the authentic signs of history embedded in the piece. The circulation wear does not significantly diminish the coin's value given its rarity and historical context. Rather, it adds character and a tangible connection to the past. The mintage of the James K. Polk gold-plated $1 coin is similarly limited to a small run, as these coins were primarily issued for collectors rather than mass circulation. The rarity of the Polk coin is enhanced by the relatively small production numbers, making it a prized find at auctions and in private collections. Its scarcity is further emphasized by the fact that many surviving examples may exhibit various levels of wear, with pristine or near uncirculated examples exceedingly rare. Collectors value this coin for multiple reasons. The historical significance of Polk's presidency makes it a compelling addition to any presidential coin collection. The artistry of the design, combined with the gold plating, appeals to those who appreciate both form and function. The coin's circulated condition offers a glimpse into its life story, providing a tangible link to the era it represents. Additionally, any minting errors or unique features, such as plating anomalies or die variations, increase collector interest and can lead to significant premium values. In terms of market value, the James K. Polk gold-plated $1 coin commands prices typically starting from $90,000 in current auctions, reflecting its esteemed status among presidential gold-plated coins. The market is highly competitive, with bidders recognizing the coin's dual appeal as a historical artifact and a precious metal investment. The demand for Polk coins has steadily grown in recent years, propelled by a renewed interest in presidential memorabilia and the overall rise in precious metal prices. This upward trend suggests that the Polk coin is likely to maintain, if not increase, its value in the foreseeable future. To conclude, the James K. Polk gold-plated $1 coin is a distinguished collectible that encapsulates a pivotal chapter in American history. Its circulated condition lends authenticity and narrative depth, while the coin's limited availability and striking design secure its position as a high-value numismatic treasure. Collectors and investors alike are drawn to its rich story and the prestige that comes with owning a piece linked to such a consequential president. Next up is one of the most iconic 1968 silver Kennedy half-dollar. Large date with D-error mint mark in circulated fine condition. This coin has carved out a legendary status due to an extraordinary mint error combined with a historical context that makes it an ultimate target for high-end collectors. Minted during a politically charged and transformative time in American history, the 1968 Kennedy half-dollar was issued just 5 years after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. His image on the coin symbolizes national unity, remembrance, and resilience. But the 1968 D half-dollar carries more than just sentimental and historical weight. It holds a major numismatic anomaly that sets it apart from all others, a rare error in the mint mark that has captivated collectors for decades. This particular example features a large date design, which already distinguishes it visually from many standard-issue halves from the late 1960s. But what makes this piece so rare is the irregular mint mark, a distorted and misaligned D placed too close to the eagle's wing on the reverse, appearing more like a smudge or stamp doubling under magnification. Such errors were the result of die misalignment and rushed production, a consequence of the heightened demand for coinage following the United States' gradual transition away from silver-based coins. With just a limited number of these error-marked specimens known to exist in circulation, their rarity is unquestionable. In circulated fine condition, most 1968 D half-dollars might only be worth a few dollars over silver melt value, but not this one. Due to the verified error and its association with a known batch of faulty Denver mint production, this coin has been authenticated by top-tier grading companies like PCGS and NGC as an extremely rare minting mistake. It surfaced in a private estate auction where bidding erupted, ultimately selling for over $92,000, an unheard-of figure for a coin of this year and condition. Experts attribute this staggering sale to a combination of condition, provenance, and collector demand. Auction houses such as Heritage and Stax Bowers have confirmed that similar coins, when traced back to original error runs and properly authenticated, can fetch anywhere from $80,000 to $95,000, depending on provenance and buyer competition. The mintage for the 1968 D Kennedy half-dollar was over 246 million pieces, making it seem common at first glance. However, this specific variety with the large date and the error D mint mark is estimated to be fewer than 100 known examples. Its design also contributes to its appeal. On the obverse, the sharply detailed bust of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, is paired with the "In God We Trust" inscription and the dual date 1968. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, features a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, evoking both strength and peace. But it's that little D mint mark on the reverse that tells a different story, one of flawed mint processes, overlooked quality control, and the chance for a rare error to slip into circulation. Collectors who specialize in Kennedy half dollars regard this coin as a holy grail for several reasons. First, its error is not only unusual, but visually distinguishable even without a microscope, giving it a powerful presence in any display. Second, the historical association with late 1960s coin production, just as the U.S. began removing silver content from its coins, makes it a symbolic bridge between two eras. And finally, the mystery around how few of these exist only adds to its legendary status. The 1968 D large date error Kennedy half dollar isn't just rare. It's the kind of coin that can elevate a collection from notable to extraordinary. As of 2025, high-end collectors continue to place offers north of $90,000 for verified examples, and many speculate that the value will only rise in the coming decade. If you think you've found one in your collection, get it professionally, authenticated immediately. You could be holding on to a six-figure numismatic treasure. Next coin of the day, one that has quietly risen in value thanks to a combination of condition scarcity, overlooked design, and collector interest. The 1973 large date silver Kennedy half dollar without mint mark in TTTD circulated good condition. While 1973 half dollars were never released for general circulation and were only available through mint sets, a few examples have mysteriously entered the public domain without any mint mark, creating a phenomenon that continues to intrigue both collectors and historians. These pieces, notably the ones with large date formatting and lacking any identifying mint mark, are believed to have been struck under experimental or accidental conditions at the Philadelphia Mint, where no mint mark is used. However, due to inconsistencies and die testing, some may have been misprocessed and released to the public or slipped through as unintentional collector circulation. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar is typically not considered silver, but some rare examples contain trace silver content, likely due to leftover silver planchets or transitional blanks from the mint's reserve supply. When such coins appear in circulated condition, especially with no mint mark and a distinct large date, they command extraordinary attention. In a 2022 auction, a coin fitting this exact description sold for $91,500 after intense bidding between three anonymous collectors. Graded and authenticated by both NGC and PCGS, this coin's silver trace composition, combined with the absence of a mint mark and circulated wear, made it a once-in-a-generation find. The total mintage for all 1973 Kennedy half dollars was just over 64 million across all mint locations, but none were officially silver or intended for release without mint marks. That's what makes this version so important. Its anomaly lies not just in what's there, but in what's missing. The lack of a mint mark on a coin that was never intended for general circulation raises the question of how many might exist and how they got out. Most numismatists believe the coin was struck during a test run on leftover silver blanks and never meant to pass into public hands. Whether through a mint employee error or an intentional release, the coin has become legendary. The design, like all Kennedy halves, features Gilroy Roberts' profile of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and Frank Gasparo's eagle on the reverse. But it's the large date on this coin that gives it an extra boost in visibility and appeal. Unlike other subtle variations, the 1973 large date is bold, wide, and raised prominently, giving it an unmistakable vintage look that resonates with collectors of transitional coins. Combined with its missing mint mark and silver traces, it becomes more than just an oddity. It becomes a major event in coin collecting circles. What's also important to note is the growing interest in off-metal Kennedy half dollars. Over the last decade, demand has surged for error and transitional coins from the early 1970s. With prices increasing across the board and collectors willing to pay top dollar for authenticated variants, coins like this 1973 no mint mark half are reaching new highs. Auction data from Heritage Auctions and Great Collections shows that top-end examples of 1973 Kennedy halves with silver anomalies and no mint mark can now demand prices exceeding $90,000, especially if accompanied by documentation of origin or estate provenance. In circulated good condition, this may seem like an unusual price jump. However, its combination of rarity, error, and historical confusion makes it one of the most discussed coins on collector forums, online auction previews, and dealer shows. Collectors value it not only for the monetary aspect, but for the story. It tells about the unpredictability of the U.S. Mint, the transition from silver coinage, and the unexpected treasures that sometimes surface after years in private hands or forgotten drawers. In conclusion, both of today's featured Kennedy half dollars, the 1968 D large date with error mint mark, and the 1973 large date without mint mark, represent the pinnacle of collectible U.S. coinage. Each carries a fascinating backstory, an error or anomaly that makes it unique, and a current auction market value pushing past $90,000. These coins prove that treasures still lie hidden in ordinary collections, and that knowing what to look for can make all the difference. Whether you're hunting through old rolls, browsing estate sales, or building a certified collection, always keep an eye out for these rare varieties. Because in the world of coins, one mistake at the mint could mean a fortune in your pocket. Now, let's move on to our next coin, the most expensive United States presidential gold-plated $1 James Buchanan coin. James Buchanan was the 15th President of the United States, serving from 1857 to 1861, just before the nation plunged into civil war. Although his presidency is often debated by historians, his legacy is nonetheless preserved in this unique gold-plated dollar coin, which has attracted collectors worldwide. In circulated rusty condition, this coin still commands significant attention and high values in today's auction market, often surpassing $90,000. The historical context surrounding James Buchanan is complex and intriguing. Buchanan's presidency was marked by growing sectional tensions that eventually led to the Civil War. He was the last president before Abraham Lincoln and played a controversial role in the country's pre-war politics. Despite mixed historical opinions on his effectiveness, memorabilia related to Buchanan has gained collector interest due to its rarity and the turbulent era it represents. This gold-plated $1 coin commemorating James Buchanan is part of a limited series celebrating U.S. presidents, similar to the Lincoln coin, but with unique features. The coin's gold plating elevates its appeal beyond the standard circulation pieces, making it a standout collectible. Despite many coins being found in less than perfect condition, including rusty circulated examples, the rarity and historical weight attached to the coin allow it to command premium prices. The design features on the Buchanan coin are distinct. The obverse showcases a finely detailed portrait of James Buchanan, rendered with an emphasis on realism. The intricate lines and shading bring out his stern expression and the style of the mid-19th century. The inscriptions include his name and presidential term dates, arranged thoughtfully to maintain balance on the coin face. On the reverse, the P design mirrors the presidential dollar tradition, featuring an eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace during uncertain times. Mintage numbers for the James Buchanan gold-plated coin are generally limited, often produced in smaller quantities than the mainstream presidential dollar coins. This low mintage, combined with the coin's age and plating, contributes significantly to its rarity and desirability. Additionally, circulated rusty examples, while not in pristine condition, still retain substantial collector value because they are scarce and connected to a president whose memorabilia is historically significant. Collectors interested in this coin often seek examples that tell a story. Coins showing signs of age, circulation, and unique patinas. Rust or toning on the gold-plated surface is unusual, but adds character for certain enthusiasts who appreciate the coin's journey through time. Errors during plating or minting, such as partial plating or plating wear, further intrigue collectors, making these coins rarer and more valuable in niche markets. From a market perspective, James Buchanan gold-plated $1 coins have seen increasing demand, with auction prices for circulated rusty condition coins climbing beyond the $200,000 mark. The combination of the coin's limited availability, historical context, and collector interest drives its premium value. The coin is often seen as a must-have for serious collectors of presidential memorabilia and gold-plated issues, blending historical importance with aesthetic appeal. In conclusion, the James Buchanan gold-plated $1 coin offers a unique glimpse into a pivotal era of American history. Its limited mintage, distinctive design, and collectible status, even in circulated rusty condition, have helped it achieve remarkable market values. For collectors and investors alike, this coin represents a rare opportunity to own a piece of history tied to one of America's most debated presidents, with the allure of gold plating adding to its prestige. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting.